You are about to discover a secret so rare that most men will go their entire lives without ever understanding it. This is no clickbait, no long stories, just a straightforward doorway to the secret and how to apply them. By the time you finish watching this video, you will know how to talk to women without anxiety, how to enter their minds without forcing anything, and how to make them look forward to the next time they see you or hear from you. No lines, no tricks, no acting, just understanding. Right now, imagine this. There's you and there's the woman you want to talk to. What do you say? What do you talk about? And how do you make the conversation feel natural, smooth, and memorable? Before we answer those questions, we need to remove the biggest mistake men make when talking to women: overthinking. Most men obsess over what to say, how to say it, and what she'll think. This destroys attraction before the conversation even begins. They rehearse lines in their heads, they worry about awkward silences, they panic about saying the wrong thing. And all of that mental noise creates a palpable energy of nervousness that women can feel instantly. Women are highly attuned to emotional states. They can sense when a man is comfortable in his own skin and when he is desperately trying to perform. The overthinking man is performing. The grounded man is simply being. So before we go any further, I want you to change your perspective. Change your internal mindset. The first thing you must understand and truly internalize is this: she is just a human being. Nothing more. She eats. She sleeps, she gets insecure, she overthinks, she doubts herself, she worries about her appearance, her future, her place in the world. She has fears, regrets, and dreams that keep her up at night. She is not a goddess. She is not a prize to be won. She is a person, just like you. Do not place her on a pedestal just because she's attractive. You've heard this advice before, but hearing it is not enough. You must feel it. You must believe it so deeply that it changes how you hold yourself, how you speak, and how you respond to her. From now on, every time you speak to a beautiful woman, I want you to remember this moment and tell yourself, she is just a human being. This single shift will remove more anxiety than any pickup line ever could. The second mindset shift is more important and more uncomfortable. You must see yourself as being above her, not below her. This doesn't mean arrogance. This doesn't mean disrespect. It means inner positioning. It means understanding that your value is not determined by her approval. It means recognizing that you bring something to the table that she needs, just as she brings something to the table that you want. It is a recognition of equal dignity, but with you firmly grounded in your own worth. I'll explain how to do this shortly. For now, just hold this thought. The man who places himself below a woman will always chase her approval. The man who places himself above her, not in arrogance but in quiet confidence, will always attract her curiosity. So, how does attraction actually work? When you talk to a woman, something is happening beneath the surface. Her subconscious mind, the part responsible for love, desire, and attraction, is actively evaluating you. Not logically, not consciously, emotionally. If you followed this series, you already know this truth. Women are driven primarily by emotion, not logic. They feel first, then they act. Attraction is not a choice. It is a subconscious response. This means two important things. Women do not choose who they are attracted to. Women cannot force themselves to be attracted to someone they are not. Attraction happens automatically in response to certain behaviors. This is why you can be the perfect man on paper and still not spark attraction. The logic is there. The checklist is checked, but the feeling isn't there. And without the feeling, nothing happens. Now imagine her subconscious mind as a radar. The moment you start talking to her, that radar turns on and begins scanning you. Not to judge your words, but to evaluate your presence. This radar asks one core question. Is this man above me or below me? If the radar decides you see yourself as below her, attraction dies instantly. If it decides you see yourself as above her, attraction begins, often without her understanding why. This radar is separate from her logical mind. That's why women often fall for men who mistreat them. Even when logic screams that it's a bad idea, her logic says no. Her radar says yes, and radar always wins. Here is a fundamental truth about women. From the moment a woman is born, her biology has one core purpose: to find the right man. This doesn't mean she can't be ambitious. This doesn't mean she can't be intelligent. This doesn't mean she can't be successful. She could be a scientist, an entrepreneur, an astronaut at NASA. But the biological program remains the same. And here's the key point. She does not consciously choose the right man. Her radar does. So when you talk to a woman, understand this. She is not listening to your words. She is feeling your position. She is scanning your energy, your posture, your tone, your level of comfort in your own skin. Are you nervous? Are you trying to impress? Are you seeking her approval? All of that is transmitted through your presence, not your words. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you react to a woman with calm, steady confidence, you are communicating something powerful. You are communicating that you are not shaken by her beauty, not intimidated by her presence, not desperate for her validation. And that communication happens before you even say a word. Now, we are going to talk about body language. Forget everything you've ever heard about body language. Forget rules about posture, hands, eye contact, or sitting straight. Most of that advice is useless. There are only 3 body language principles you need to remember. 1. Stop leaning toward her. Leaning toward a woman signals interest, and too much interest signals low value. Instead, lean away slightly when you talk. This creates space. Space creates value. When you lean away, you are communicating that you are not desperate for her attention. You are comfortable with distance. And that comfort with distance makes her want to close the gap. 2. Be willing to walk away. If she says something you don't like or rejects you, don't freeze. For example, if she says, I'm not really interested, you can calmly say, that makes sense. I'm probably a bit much for you anyway, and then begin to walk away. Most attractive women are not used to this. They are used to being chased. Walking away signals confidence and abundance. It says, I have options. I am not attached to this outcome. Your rejection does not diminish my value. And that kind of confidence is deeply attractive to women. 3. Maintain calm eye contact. Not the unblinking stare of a predator, but the steady, relaxed gaze of a man who is not intimidated. When you hold eye contact without discomfort, you are communicating that you are present, confident, and engaged. You are not looking away nervously. You are not scanning the room for something better. You are fully here, fully present, and fully unbothered. Now that you have a new mindset and a new body language, I am going to give you the conversation formula. What do you actually say? Here is the formula you must remember. 50% about her, 30% about anything else, 20% about you. Why? Because the person who talks the most about themselves is the one seeking approval. Think about a job interview. Who talks the most about themselves? The applicant, not the employer. You never want to be the applicant. You want to be the employer. You want to be the one asking questions, the one evaluating, the one deciding if she is worthy of your time. This shift in frame changes everything. When you talk about her, you are signaling that you are interested in who she is as a person, not just her appearance. You are showing that you value depth over surface. And that is rare. Let's start with the first 50%. Talk about her. This part is simple. Ask about her childhood, her likes and dislikes, her dreams, her fears, her opinions, her values. Listen like a therapist, not to respond, but to understand. When she speaks, really hear her. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Be genuinely curious about her world. Ask follow-up questions that show you are paying attention. This is not about interrogation. It's about discovery. When you are genuinely curious about someone, they can feel it. And that feeling of being truly heard is one of the most powerful experiences a human being can have. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This ancient wisdom is more relevant today than ever. In a world of constant noise, a man who listens is a man who stands out. 30% talk about anything. This is where most men freeze. Here's the rule. Say whatever comes to mind. Talk like you're sitting next to a friend you've known for 10 years. Be random. Be silly. Be imperfect. Jump topics. Make jokes. Say nonsense. The goal is flow, not intelligence. Never try to win an argument. Never try to impress. You don't need her approval. This is the most liberating part of the formula. You don't have to be clever. You don't have to be interesting. You just have to be present. When you stop trying to impress, you become naturally impressive. Because confidence is not about what you say, it's about how you say it. It's about the ease with which you move through the conversation. It's about the comfort you feel in your own skin, and that comfort is contagious. When she sees you are comfortable, she becomes comfortable, and comfort is the foundation of attraction. 20% talk about yourself correctly. This is where men destroy attraction. Never brag, never list achievements, never try to impress. When you talk about yourself, make fun of yourself slightly. Tell stories where you look human, imperfect, or funny. This signals security. It says, I am comfortable with my flaws. I don't need to prove anything to you. This is the Stoic principle of humility. The truly confident man does not need to broadcast his accomplishments. He does not need to tell you how successful he is. He simply is. And his presence communicates everything. When you make fun of yourself, you are showing that you are not attached to your ego. You are showing that you can laugh at yourself. And that is one of the most attractive qualities a person can possess. It signals emotional maturity, self-awareness, and genuine confidence. Next is the conversation formula, is mystery. Say less, not more. Mystery is not about lying. It's about withholding information. Most men overshare. They give her their entire life story in the first conversation. They tell her about their job, their family, their past relationships, their hopes and dreams. And in doing so, they remove all mystery. They become predictable. And predictability is the enemy of attraction. For example, if she asks, where do you work? Don't give a full explanation. Instead, say, easy there. We just met. This creates curiosity. Curiosity creates investment. When she has to wonder about you, she thinks about you. And when she thinks about you, she becomes attached to you. Examples. Her. What are you doing Saturday? You. Something interesting. Can't say yet. Her. Have you been in a relationship? You. That's classified information. Her. What's your name? You. Guess. I'll tell you if you're right. Say less. Let her wonder. This is not about playing games. It's about understanding that attraction thrives in the space between knowing and not knowing. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you create mystery, you are giving her something to think about. And the more she thinks about you, the more her soul becomes dyed with the color of your presence. Lastly is tests, the final barrier. Women will test you, not intentionally, but instinctively. These tests are designed to see if you are real or just pretending. If you panic, you fail. If you stay calm, you pass. Tests can come in many forms. She might tease you, challenge you, or pull away to see if you chase. She might say something to provoke a reaction. She might test your boundaries. And in every case, the correct response is the same. Calm, steady, unbothered presence. When she tests you, do not get defensive. Do not get angry. Do not try to prove yourself. Simply remain grounded. Respond with humor, with confidence, with indifference to the outcome. This is the Stoic principle of not being controlled by external events. When you pass her tests, you prove that you are a man of substance. You prove that you cannot be easily shaken. And that proof is what makes her feel safe and attracted and drawn to you. In summary, I would tell you this. Attraction is not about words. It is about inner positioning, comfort, emotional leadership. When you understand this, conversations stop feeling stressful. You stop chasing. You stop proving. You start leading. And that is when women begin to think about you without knowing why. This is the path of Stoic men. The Stoics understood that true power is not in dominating others, but in mastering yourself. When you master yourself, you become a man of presence, a man of depth, a man who naturally commands respect and attraction without having to chase it. So take these principles and apply them. Not as techniques, but as a way of being. Become the man who is calm, centered, and unshakable. And watch as women begin to gravitate toward you, drawn by something they can't quite name, but can't quite resist. See you in the next video.